Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Yep. Well, walleye. We have a walleye. Got the eat on the underwater camera. Not a giant, but solid fish here. We're set up on some shallow rocks here. We actually have a little bit of a transition line. Out over on this side of me is just flat sand, no rock, no real structure on it, right on the transition line here. We've been seeing a few fish kind of cruise in this transition line, and up top it's a little bit shallower, a little more rocks, and seeing fish here. So we're gonna set up here for the evening and see if we can't put a few more of those walleyes topside. Right. Ooh, that one's coming in. Oh, a little better maybe. Oh, he's spooked. Yeah, I hope he's coming back around. Not interested yet. Still hanging around down there. He's coming in so slow. I just need it dead sticked. Golly, kept rolling. Hey, I don't have a camera. Do you want to finally have a dead stick going? After all of that, he's not running. There he's going. I just had that other one sitting over by my jigging rod for a while on the camera. He's still there, I think. I actually need to open this up. It's gonna get stuck. There we go. See if he's still there. Yep. There we go. First one on the dead stick, and it is already here. Solid fish. Perfect. Thank you. I'm gonna run over to that camera quick. Finally got one to go on the dead stick. You can see he's got a jacked up fin right there. I don't know if this is the same fish that was cruising around here, but I had one cruising around that you saw looking on the underwater camera and did not go, but finally got one to go on the dead stick. Nick's had a dead stick up all day and has not gotten hit yet, and I just put this one up probably about an hour ago, so ago. We are super shallow right now. I'm sitting in 8 feet. Nick and Brett, those guys are up a little bit shallower up on top of the rocks. This is on that transition line like I talked about earlier, sand to rock. I have my dead stick sitting up top a little bit shallow. That's probably even like 5 or 6 feet up on top of these rocks. And so again, as the night progresses, I'm guessing a few more fish are gonna be working shallow, but still working on this high traffic area, kind of this high percentage area, working along these transitions lines. I've been seeing some fish move around here, and hopefully as it gets a little bit more low light, that those fish are gonna continue to get more and more aggressive. Jeez, I should have put on the head cam. Yeah, there's no walking quiet here. There it's going again. Give it a second. Still there. Decent fish. It's fun when they're so shallow like this. They just show up right away. Sweet. Go show it off to that other camera quick too. Another walleye on the dead stick over there. Nice thing is they've all been pretty quality fish. Again, I think that one is up. I haven't even checked for sure the depth, but that one was up in maybe 5, 6 feet. I'm sitting at about 7, 8 feet here. And that one's up a little shallow, a little more rocky again. I'm still on this transition. I haven't been seeing as many fish on this transition, but that's a pretty typical pattern. What you see is this evening time is starting out a little bit deeper and they move up, especially if there's structure like this, like rocks or something. You'll see those fish start out deeper, move up shallower as they kind of chase some of that bait towards that sundown period. So I'm actually just going to kind of pan over and look to see what we're working with up over a little closer to that tip up. So I'm going to zoom out to about, I don't know, 50 feet or so, kind of pan around over there. Definitely gets shallower. You can see I'm kind of on this ridge right here. It goes up, there's some rocks up on top. That's that pretty good transition line. And as you go further, it looks like it just continues to get shallow. You can maybe see that tip up there, but it's pretty hard to see. But you can see just kind of a slow, gradual break up to some shallower water over there. So you can see it flattens out a little bit. Kind of 2 little breaks here. I'm right on one, flattens out, goes up, and that tip up is probably pretty close to that other one, maybe even a little bit shallower on some more of those rocks up there. Oh yeah. Oh, not big, but he smoked it. Jeez. I was just checking something on my phone and I thought I saw something on the live scope and looked down, and sure enough, it's all over me on the camera there. It's crazy. When we're fishing this shallow water, I felt like I pretty much set the hook and that thing came out of the hole. These are more of like your Lake of the Woods specials right here. Still fun in that shallow water. That thing, you could see it came up for it and was looking, and obviously you're probably gonna see it more than I did because you could see it on the underwater footage and I was sitting there staring at my phone. But once I started moving that thing, it just came up and absolutely crushed it. So that's another thing too, even kind of for my last tip up on Lake of the Woods when I was going through some of those tips and tricks, but reading the mood of these fish. Earlier today, Nick was by far having most of the luck, and everything that he was doing was jigging. His dead stick, not hardly having a bite. Now I've caught 2 on the dead stick, but see this one, it came up when it was just sitting there. But once I started jigging it, that's what triggered that bite. And that's a little more of what was happening earlier with Nick, is once he would see those fish, if he could get those fish moving, it would trigger that bite and they would be much more aggressive. They did not want that bait just sitting down there. So again, not an uncommon pattern. As it gets closer to that low light period, they get a little more aggressive. You know, these walleyes in that low light period, their eyesight is so much better than a lot of the bait that they're chasing, a lot of the other things that they're going to be eating. So hopefully we'll get a few more cruising through, and hopefully it'll continue to get more and more aggressive. Nick's just got a flag going right now, and I realize that I have not even really given much of a run through of what we've got going on today. So me, Nick, Brett, Christian, we swung on over to Devil's Lake here, and I have never fished this lake before, and something that I've always wanted to do, so I have no idea what I'm doing out here. But we came out, and I know there's a lot of shallow bite going on, and so kind of throughout the day, me and Nick went a little shallower, trying to find some different shallow structure. You know, classic on Devil's Lake is fishing some of the trees, some of that kind of stuff, which is what I've heard, and we went out kind of looking for some of that, and what we actually kind of stumbled on was some shallow rocks. And so Nick kind of sat all day in kind of the same area and was catching fish consistently throughout the morning. I went out and I bounced around. I was going, trying all sorts of different stuff, found some really good stuff, some good transitions, some good weeds, some good rocks, some down trees. Found some of that really good structure, but I hardly marked any fish. I think I maybe caught a pike. And so I eventually came on back over and I joined Nick here, and he's been more on top of the rocks. And then, like I said, I got kind of dialed in on this transition. I bounced around, was kind of moving around, trying to see just kind of the lay of the land. I noticed there's a lot of sand out here. Finally moved my way a little closer to Nick to find this transition line and find some more of these rocks. And that's definitely what these fish have been relating to some of these rocks on here. And so been a fun first day, just fishing a new lake, new body of water. Been a little bit of a run and gun day, trying a lot of different stuff, venturing out. Brett and Christian, they went out for some perch, caught some perch. They did a little bit more hopping around, some of that kind of stuff, where me and Nick kind of focused some of the shallow, more structure for walleyes. So we're gonna stick it out here for a little bit longer as it's getting dark, see if we can't get some of those last light walleyes. Just getting about the point where the camera is gonna be no good.
I'm sure, yeah. Kind of shocking with this one.
Yeah, whoa, speaking of that, oh, I'm an idiot. This thing came up and just crushed it. I don't have any bait on it anymore. See if it'll come back. Oh, it's still there. See if it'll come back. No bait on this thing. God, the first time that thing came up and crushed it, I'm pretty sure he's coming up again. There he is. Took a little bit, but we finally got him to go with no bait. Not sure if you're gonna be able to see that at all on the underwater camera, but I was able to see it enough to get it to go. Came up and crushed it that first time, and I was just not paying attention. Whiffed on it and still hung around. Oh, again, not a giant, but man, being able to get some of these shallow water walleyes in this last light, ton of fun. And honestly, just being on some safe ice right now, catching walleyes is truly a dream come true, because it is so hard back home to find some safe ice. Real quick, I want to run through the camera that I'm running, and this is the Aqua Vu 822 HD. Really like this camera. It is very portable. So it still has an 8-inch screen, which is really nice. That has a lot of visibility. Even when it was sunny out today, I was still able to see, just setting it on my snowmobile right here. It's got one of my favorite features, which is this reel on the back. So being able to reel that thing up and down very quickly when you're moving from spot to spot. So this was actually what I was using when I was kind of hole hopping around, checking things out. Really just kind of dial in this structure, because you can see quite a bit on the live scope. Even with the structure that you're fishing, you can kind of get an idea where some rocks and stuff are. But honestly, I was really able to dial in right on this transition here. Sand, to rock transition, and it was honestly within 5-10 feet, and that definitely made a difference even moving from those holes right a little bit closer to these rocks. Seems we have a few more fish moving through. So Aqua Vu 822 HD, link in the description below if you're interested in checking one of those out. I'm gonna finally have to put the jacket back on here. Like I said, it has just been absolutely gorgeous. So I've actually just been able to kind of run with the Norfin, kind of the underlayer, the base layer for a lot of this, and it's one of my favorite jackets that I run under my bibs all the time. But I'm gonna throw on the jacket as that sun's dipping behind, just getting a little bit colder. This is the Explorer Camel heated. It's a float suit, got the heated bibs, a lot of great features. Very warm suit, one of the warmest suits in the lineup here. So if you're interested in that, go ahead and check that out in the description below. You can use my code down there for an extra 10% off. Well, that's gonna be a wrap. As you can see here, we have snowmobile started. We're gonna be heading on in to go grab a bite to eat. Fun little bite out here on a new body of water. Fun to kind of break it down, check things out, see what it's like out here. But we're gonna head back, get regrouped, see what the plan is for tomorrow. As always, appreciate the support. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time.